Well, do I have your permission to hypnotize you this evening? All right. Throughout this process, I myself will be touching your head, your neck, your shoulders, your arms, as well as your legs. And also these two gentlemen, as well as Kendra, will be touching the same areas, your head, your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your legs. Is that okay with you? Okay, perfect. So, John Luke, I want you to focus right here for me. I want you to know that throughout this exercise, your legs can be firm beneath you at all times. Your legs can be strong and firm beneath you at all times. Just keep your focus right there for me. Okay? Just keep your focus right there. Focusing right there. And we'll take a nice, deep breath in there. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Legs strong beneath you, legs strong beneath you at all times. Sleep deeper and deeper and deeper. That's right. That's right. And your balance is maintained at all times as you go deeper and deeper into hypnosis. And as you go deeper and deeper into hypnosis, all of the muscles in your body begin to become firm and stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. All of the muscles in your body stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Your legs stiff, 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 stiff. Your arms stiff, stiff, stiff. Your chest, your abs, your back, your shoulders, every muscle in your body becoming stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Stiff and rigid, rigid and stiff like a bar of steel. Every muscle in your body becoming stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Every single muscle in your body stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. That's right. I'm going to count now from 5 to 1. And as I do, every muscle will become more and more stiff. And it feels so good. It feels so good to allow every muscle to become stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. 5. Stiff, stiff, stiff. 4. Going deeper and deeper into hypnosis as every muscle becomes stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. 3. Deeper and deeper. Stiffer and stiffer. Deeper and deeper. Stiffer and stiffer, just like that, Benjamin. Deeper and deeper. 2. All the way down deep. Every muscle stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. And 1. Every muscle now completely stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. And John Luke, I'm going to just lean back here. And in a moment, these two gentlemen are going to help me. And we're going to support you. Stiff and rigid at all times. Stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Perfect. And you're just going to lay it down. Stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Back, 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 back. Perfect. Stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Perfect. And now we're just going to lift up your feet. Sorry, no, we're going to lift up your shoulders a bit more. We're going to slide this bench back, guys. Stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Stiff, stiff, stiff. Rigid, rigid. Back, back, back. Back, back, back. Stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. And now, John Luke, we're going to lift your feet. Stiff and rigid. Every muscle in your body. Stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Stiff, stiff, stiff. Stiff, stiff, stiff. Rigid like a bar of steel. Every muscle in your body. Stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Every muscle in your body. Stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Every single muscle in your body. Stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. And John Luke, in a moment, you're going to feel some pressure on your abs. It's perfectly okay. You guys want to support me? You're going to feel a little bit of pressure on your abdomen. It's perfectly okay. Every muscle stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. John Luke, every muscle stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Every muscle stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Thank you very much. Now, John Luke, we're going to lift your feet. Stiff and rigid, remaining stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. Stiff and rigid like a bar of steel. And we're going to lift your shoulders, John Luke. Stiff and rigid. Stiff, 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 stiff. And as you come upright, your balance returns. Your balance returns. Perfect balance now. Perfectly balanced, John Luke. That's right. Your balance is perfect. Balance is perfect. Balance is perfect. And now, John Luke, I'm going to count from 5 to 1. And when I reach number 1, you'll feel completely, normally relaxed. Your eyes will open. You'll feel wide awake. Your legs will be firm beneath you at all times. 5, 4, 3, 2, relaxing all those muscles. And 1. Eyes open, wide awake. Welcome back. How's that? Thank you. And to our assistant over here, everybody, a hand, please.